Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, depending from where you're watching. This is Oscar, your host for today's first knockout in the K Championship, and with me is Omer. Omer, how are you doing?
Doing great. It's been a long time since
It
our last
has.
stream together, and it's a special one on F50 with the K Challenge 14th knockout. So looking forward to it. So I'm all good. Thanks for asking, Oscar.
Yep, this was the third challenge in a row with the F50. Next one is going to be with the Flying 75. 10 of the players are already on the starting line with the start procedures just starting right now. 1 minute and 10 seconds for them to position themselves
Yes,
where they want
they're
to
all
be.
beautifully aligned with the SailGP friend skin.
And 50 seconds to go. And with the F50, well, you want to start far from the start line. You want to have the maximum velocity you can get as you cross that start line without doing any false starts, because that will penalize you for with a 10-second slowdown. So you see them doing these back and forth between the edge of the racing course and the start line, trying to measure how long they will take to reach it.
Yeah, and most of the boats are trying to stay close to the committee boat side, closer to the wind. I think it's because it's darker there and they want to have a good velocity when they start the race.
Yep. As we see them approaching the start line, 5 seconds to go. Watch out for the false starts. Looks like everyone is in the clear. A good start by Crow 280. Taking the
It is
lead
rare to
early
have a
on.
clean start like this with the F50.
Yeah.
Let's see how things will go at the first mark.
We see all the boats lining up behind him, and he will be the first one to reach that gate. That downwind gate, which will give him a huge advantage for the rest of the course. With the F50, that's a foiling boat, so the boat is actually sailing faster than the wind, meaning that the wind shadow is always going to be behind the boat, meaning that you have the advantage when you're in front.
Exactly.
You can have a better control of the boats beneath you. As Crow 280 decides to go on the left mark over here, followed by AIM. On the left, or the top side of the course over here, you see Lazar Kozik and 985 from Japan. We'll see which one was the correct choice.
As you mentioned, it's one of the rare boats that it's being advantageous to be on the first position during downwind. And for now, the leaders are use this advantage quite good. And let's see how we'll go through this upwind.
Well, Crow 280 still in the leading position. 985 took the second place from AIM, but AIM still on the podium over here. It's going to be 4 races with all players in, and then 1 medal race worth double the points with just the top 4. So it's a low point scoring
always
system.
Change.
Sorry?
Where things always change, the scoring and the ranking.
Yeah.
As we have double points.
So it'll definitely, basically the qualifier or the first 4 races is to give you a bit of an advantage for that medal race, but it won't dictate everything. You need to be consistent, and you need to do a good medal race if you want to be the top player to qualify for the grand final in mid-December. So far, Crow 280 is managing his race very well, still in first place. We see Ame jumping back into second. Shidlow Finn right behind him, taking a penalty at 18. 985 decided to go on the clearer side of the course. You see these dark areas and these lighter areas. Dark areas is where there's going to be more wind, so more pressure, more speed. And lighter areas just means less wind, so usually you tend to try to stick in these darker areas, especially with fast boats.
Let's say 985 is taking a risk there, because the dark spots are out of the bounds now.
Yep.
So he'll stay in the light zone and be slowed down.
That allowed AIM to stick to second place.
Yeah. So really see how choices are important in each leg. and everything can change in a second, blink of an eye with the F50 boat.
Yep.
Crow is leading comfortably as we speak, and if he manages to control the boats behind him and do not take big risks, I think it will be a clear, easy win for him in this first race of the evening.
Well, a great start definitely put him in this
Yeah.
advantageous position over here. He has 150 meters lead on the second in the upwind, which means that when he starts going downwind, he'll just increase that gap. And it's a reaching finish. The F50 being a catamaran and foiling, it's going to be top speeds and reaching.
Yeah. Even at this upwind, they're reaching till 25, 27 knots of speed.
Yep.
Which is a significant speed. If you're into sailing, you will know that it is quite fast.
Yep, almost close to the speed record for sailing boats with the F50. I believe the record holder is an AC75. But there we have it. Crow starting this last downwind. Still in first place. Aim is likely going to be second. And then for 3 and 4, it's going to be close between Muimui and Shidlo Finn over here. Muimui having some speed compared to Shidlo Finn, but ended up in his wind shadow. Shidlo Finn decided to bear away, leaving Muimui in third place, Shidlo Finn in fourth. But in average, if you finish in the top 4, you're going to finish in the medal race. And that's the aim for these first few races.
We might see a little battle at the end here.
With Alcalea crossing in 9 and Lazar crossing in 10. And start procedure has been given. For race number 2.
Again, they're forcing the boundaries of the area that we have before the start line be as fast as possible.
Yep.
Right on the start line. And I think the wind is a bit lighter in this race. We have about 17-15 knots of wind speed.
Yeah, so we will have
in these light winds, it's a bit more difficult to get the boat foiling.
Exactly, we're going to have an average of 18 knots of wind on the course. Currently, we're watching Crow 280. There's 50 knots of wind where he's sailing, and it's going to be Lazar who is going to take the lead with a 60-70 meter advantage.
Solid start. Really solid start from Lazar.
Yep.
But right back at him. It's not an easy concurrent. It's Muimui, one of the best at this boat, F50.
A very strong sailor indeed, Muimui from Japan. And it is Lazar from Serbia, I believe, who is first right now. Will he be able to do like Crow 280 on the first race and just keep his lead?
Yeah. It is great to see a Serbian player in the finals. I think this is the first time we're having a Serbian e-sailor in the fleet in one of these knockouts, if I'm not wrong.
No, I think he qualified recently in one of the knockouts.
Okay, yeah, maybe I was not streaming with you, that's why, but it's good to see him because he's a good player as well.
He's been consistently atop of the rankings in Green
Yeah.
Challenges, K Championships.
Yeah.
And we hope for him that he will be able to do the same in the Eastland World Championship, which is due to start very soon.
Yeah. By the way, a quick tech from Mui Mui. He's going to the left-hand side of the race course to get into the win, where he thinks the advantageous side of the race course is. So let's see if this extra tech will pay off.
Well, Lazar still has a... Well, the gap did shorten a bit. It was about 70
Yeah.
meters when they first started, so now... Well, actually 80 now as the downwind starts. So
I think
maybe,
he's catching up.
we'll see. Lazar decided to stay on starboard tack, while Mimi decided to stay on port for a while before tacking or jibing.
Yeah, I would do what Lazar did. Actually, I didn't really understand the strategy of Mui Mui, because it looks like on the minimap he's on the lighter wind.
And he is. He's going 4 knots slower, 3 knots
Yeah.
slower than Lazar.
What is he's thinking here? What do you think his strategy is? Because he knows really well that
Well,
he would go faster in the dark spots.
he knows he'll be faster in the dark spots, but he probably knew he had enough of a lead against third, and just following Lazar would not be able to make him overtake him, because he's just following him. So maybe just trying something different in the hopes that he'll get a good luck shift and be able to overtake.
Yeah.
Because he's still in
But-
his second spot.
Yeah, but if that is strategy, Amae's catching up as the looks of it. So I wouldn't be too comfortable if I were him.
Aim arrived second in the first race, now third. Well, we arrived third in the first race, now second. Lazar was 10th, so that race is going to help him a lot.
Yeah, we're seeing a bit of a tech war here. Battle, if I may.
Currently sailing in 60 knots of wind, and that just allows Lazar to pull away further. Shilohfin in 4th, Lostrio in 5th, Alcalea in 6th, 7 for Crow 280, 985 from Japan in 8th currently, Taigwen in 9, and Avari is going to be in 10. So, Mui in second. Lazar is about to cross the finish line. We see him at the top of the screen over there. Aim is going to be third. Shilohfin in 4th. That's a double 4 for Shilohfin. Lostrio is still in 5th. Alcalea still in 6th. And what's happening behind Vari in 9, Tigwen in 10. As all players have crossed the finish line, and we will have a look at the overall results. And the winner of the overall is then qualified for the grand final of the K Championship. 5 seconds to go before the start procedure can be given. And third race. I'm reading the chat late, but Chris1707 said that Crow 280 and Lazar are the ones to watch. And while Crow 280 did have a hell of a first race, Lazar had a hell of a second race. Fortunately missed the first race, arriving 10th. And I see Taigwen in the chat being frustrated by his performance so far, arriving 8 and 10. The boat we're following is going to be Lazar. 9 seconds to go before they can cross the start line. Watch out for false starts. Tad early for Crow 280 over here, and it's going to be 985 doing a good start. He might have some issues with Alcalá, but Alcalá is on the outside, and will have to stay wide. Which means 985 takes the lead. You think it's going to be a clean race again between for 985? So we had a clean race from Crow 280 in the first race, a clean race from Lazar Kozik in the second race. Is it 985 turn? Aim consistently in second. Well, we're second in the first race, third in the second race. What's happening with our first two winner? Lazar Kozik is back in 10th. Crow 280 is in 9th. Mwimwi in 7th or 6th, as I say that, and Van Zijtig has been able to join us for this third race. We've seen Van Zijtig in the previous knockout for the first time.
I was speaking for the last 5 minutes while I was on mute. Sorry, everyone.
I was thinking you were quiet.
Yeah, and I was like really excited and commentating on a lot of things. So what I was saying is, firstly, I complimented your German accent on the German player's gamer tag, which is impressive as always. And I was saying things are not going really well for Taigwen in this race. He was not happy with his performance, so.
Yep, he wasn't happy in his previous performances, and
better.
Exactly. But he still has, so this is knockout 14, so he still has 6 tries after that to try to reach the grand final. Meanwhile, 985 is still in the lead. Aim is still in second. Mwimwi jumped up to third. Aside for a second, is now fourth. But he's on port side, so if he crosses any boats coming in on starboard, he'll have to give way. And Aim might have been able to overtake 985 over there. We see at the top of your screen.
Yeah, and he's placed in a really good spot at the moment. He'll be fast, and he'll have the advantage on that port side of the course.
Yeah, we see him accelerate over here, going at 29 knots. Meanwhile, 985 is just barely passing the 28s. Almost 2 knot difference between the two.
Yeah.
And 985 is going to be the first one to have to tack because of the boundaries. Meaning that Ame, or Aim, is going to be able to attack above him, putting him in the wind shadow. And 985 is not going to be able to reach that mark in one go, so he'll have to tack again.
Yeah.
AIM decided to stay on port tack to jibe in front of 985. That could have been risky because 985 is coming in with some speed. He could have overtake him. 985 is going slightly faster, but not
But
fast enough
he has
to
the
overtake AIM.
advantage.
Yep.
As being the
So AIM
inside
did that
boat,
to
and he
defend
can
his
push him.
position.
Yeah.
And looks like it's going to be a one first
Wim
place
Wim's
for
985
AIM and
faster
second place
now.
for 985. Sorry?
985 was coming in fast, but
Yeah.
not enough.
So AIM in first, 985 in second, and Van Zijtig in third. And looks like Tiguan decided to abandon their race. Here we have the ranking for this race. Knowing that Crow 280 did arrive first in one race, so unless 985 also arrives first and Crow 280 second, as long as he performs better than 985 with a tie, he'll be placed above. With how the tiebreak works, and looks like the next race is starting. And we are currently looking at AIM, the winner of the previous race.
So who will be following the start?
So I'm following AIM.
Okay, let's do that.
I usually try to follow the winner of the previous race. Put a bit of pressure on them if they're listening.
Like they don't have enough, for sure. Let's put more on them.
With 10 seconds to go, we see AIM over here in penalty. A bit behind the rest of the fleet.
It's not looking good, that penalty.
Not looking good for that penalty,
The
yes,
last
but
minute.
he has a 10-point lead with the fourth. So he should be able to stay in that top four. Alcalea, meanwhile, is a new name that takes the lead. Having arrived 9th, 6th, and 5th in the previous races, currently in 3rd, we see 985 at the top of the screen over there, in 2nd. So a good start from Alcalea, who decides to stay on the left or right, depending from where you're watching, of the course. Decides to tack on starboard now. And we see the two Japanese, 985 and Wimi, deciding to try to stay a bit longer on the right side of the course. And let's look at the speed difference between Alcalea and 985. 985 going at 26 knots, a bit above. Alcalea about the same actually. But 985 is now entering a low pressure zone with the lighter colors. So Alcalea is going to start to build up more speed while 985 is going to drop.
Exactly, now we can see the difference. There's almost 1 point health, knots of speed difference. And AIM is in the last position at the moment.
So that's the risky spot to be in because he has 10 points lead. So 11 points would put him tied.
Yeah.
Assuming the fourth or fifth arrive first. But at the moment it's going to be Alcalea still in first, leading the fleet, choosing to go on the right mark, starting his downwind over here, 985, following that same mark, and looks like most of the fleet is going to be doing the same, with just Wimwi deciding to go on the opposite side. Van Zijstig unfortunately takes a 10 over here. Is going to be slowed down. Aim in 11th. And Kalea still being chased by 9 at 5, and looks like we have a Shiloh Finn currently in 3rd. That's better than 4th. Crow 280 in 4th. He is behind 985, so he needs to try to catch up. That's a good race by 985. Does AIM still make the final in last position? So AIM is currently 11th, so that would put him at 17 points overall. 4th is 985 with 16 points. And 5th is Crow 280 with 17 points. So at the moment, he still makes it.
Okay, so even if he's in the last spot,
But it's a gamble, because
yeah, it's not in his hands.
Crow 280 is still quite close to Japan 985 or 985, and these two are the ones who are going to dictate if he makes it or not. With Shiloh Finn pushing his way into 3rd, we still see Al-Khaila at the top over there, alone on the left.
But 985 is coming in fast and he's
Yeah.
starboard.
Almost 27 knots. Looks like 985 is going to be taking the lead in that last upwind. Al-Khaila is going to try to reach that mark without having to tack, and it's going to be close between these two sailors over here, Al-Khaila and 985. For that first place.
But it was some fair play from 985. He could have penalized Al-Khaila easily, but he did not do it.
And looks like we have the order shaping up over here. Al-Khaila in 1st, 985 in 2nd, Shiloh Finn in 3rd. That's twice 2nd in a row for 985. Los
Yeah.
Rio in 4th. Five for Crow
Yeah.
280. Taiguan finally breaking out of his curse, arriving 6th in this race. Muimui in 7. That's going to change a lot in the ranking. And looks like AIM got 10th just before
Yeah,
Van
I
Zijstig
think
split 2/10 of a
when
second.
Zachtis gave his place to him, he did a small maneuver at the last minute in front of the finish line. I don't see why would he do that.
To rewatch that, I was looking at something else. It was 10 for Van Zijstig,
He did a small bear away in front of the
11 for
finish line.
AIM.
We might see some penalties before crossing the start line.
Yep, but this is a medal race, not a match race, so they still need to
Yeah.
sail fair.
Exactly,
All players are in. Looks like the start procedure is a go. So the winner of the previous race is not in the top 4. But 985 was 2nd place in the previous race, so let's follow 985.
Staying out of the boundaries and behind the other boats to be able to have the control. Because the more you're behind, and with the more speed you're coming on the other boats, you'll have the control over them.
Yep, and we see a battle starting here between AIM and not sure if that was Mimui or Shiloh Finn.
Yeah, because if you just wait close to the start line, you're in the hands of the other boats. They'll just come and push you.
And we see all the boats here trying to push each other out.
Uh-oh.
Muimui taking the lead. Shiloh Finn currently in first, but in the wind shadows. Meaning that the two Japanese are going to have to sail wide. Penalty here on 985. This is going to be tight between Muimui and Shiloh Finn. But Shiloh Finn makes it first, and Muimui tried to be maybe a bit too aggressive over here. Takes a
Yes.
31 by touching the mark, meaning that AIM is going to be able to overtake him. 985 decides to go on the other side, jumping up to third. Shiloh Finn still in first.
Yeah, unforced errors are changing everything. They were too close, but Shiloh Finn is in the spot where he wanna be at the moment. And it's easy for him to control the fleet because they're all on the port side.
Yeah, 985 is too below to be a risk when he attacks. And not far ahead actually, so currently a good position for Shiloh Finn. And 985 is going to be dropping some positions over here, as I don't think he'll be able to overtake Muimui. Though he does have a favorable shift. And he does overtake Muimui. Meaning that AIM goes to second, but is going to take a penalty here from 985. He'd had to give room up here because he's tacking in the zone. Muimui, unfortunately, that penalty at the start cost him a lot because he is still fourth. And Ame is fighting for his third place. Shiloh Finn has a 280 meter lead on Japan 985. Wheel threat. Penalty behind over there from Muimui, who got too close to AIM.
Yeah. Yeah, in the medley race, you can see these
Aggressive maneuvers, and the players are too close.
And smooth sailing for Shiloh Finn. What's your strategy here if you're 985? So we've seen him do the same strategy as Shiloh Finn.
Yeah, unfortunately here he doesn't have a lot of options because Shiloh Finn is on the correct side of the race course. But what he can do, he can just take risks and go on the opposite side of the race course, and wait for a good shift in the wind to come, and that way he can just take the lead. Because afterwards, on the downwind, things won't be that comfortable for him to overtake the leader.
Unless something surprising happens to Shiloh Finn, I think he has it in the bag, because with 15 points, he has a 2-point lead on AIM, 3-point lead on 985. And he's 1 and 2 over here have a 200 meter lead on Muimui and AIM. Muimui actually taking third place from AIM over there.
So Muimui is taking third place. How is it changing things on the ranking?
I believe the order in which they're finishing now is the order of that final ranking. But we'll get that confirmation in a second as Shiloh Finn is approaching that finish line at almost 48 knots. And as I said, Doubt, he is slowing down. 985 also finishing in second behind Muimui. Just crossed that reaching mark and is on that last reaching lead with AIM behind him in fourth. And there we have confirmation of the results. First for Shiloh Finn, second for 985, third for Mwimwi, and fourth for AIM. Let's have a look at the overall standings. First place goes to Shiloh Finn. Congratulations to him. 17 points in total, arriving first in that meta race. He qualifies for the grand final of the K Championship happening in mid-December. 985 in second with 22 points. Mwimwi in third with 24 points and 25 points for AIM. After that last meta race.